We are going to continue on with tracking, again, very near and dear to my heart, and we're going to dive into tracking with variables on Teespring. And really, this is a strategy to leverage something that's called Teespring Analytics, which we'll take a look at here coming up. But just as a quick refresher, I originally started with 4 levels of tracking. I actually added one for this, and I won't go over it too much. It's called Google Analytics. But let's just roll through them to kind of level set where we're at. First is just cache in, cache out. That's really not tracking at all whatsoever. Next is if you're using the Facebook Pixel, great, that's better data, more information. You can go to Google Analytics. It's actually very solid information, but I find it a little bit clunky if you have a bunch of different platform windows open. It's almost too complex, especially for someone that's new to this. It almost always breaks down for them. It's too hard to make the URLs, and it's definitely an advanced thing, no problem. So this is the area that I really focus on, and it's going to be the focus of this video. Variable tracking using Teespring Analytics. I find it to be very solid. The data in there is pretty darn good. It's well over 90% accurate, a lot of times 95 plus, so I like it. And it's also simple and easy to use. Then if you really wanted to, advanced tracking platforms, go at it, go for it. There's all sorts of them out there. So before we get in too deep, let's just do a URL 101 and break down what's actually in a URL. Okay, so you'll see always in front of any URL http://, and this could be website.com or teespring.com. All right, Teespring in the past had this ability where we could, at the end of the URL, we could throw on sub-IDs. This is depreciated, and really what we're going to talk about is adding variables. This is a very common practice. It's common for tracking. It's common for e-commerce platforms. It's very common. You'll see these URL strings and variables in the URL strings everywhere you go now that you know this. So this is how they work. A question mark kicks it off. This is what tells the web browser that the URL is done. Now here come a bunch of variables, and it could be one variable, it could be 100 variables. It's a lot of stuff. But what this is doing is passing information to the landing page. So it's passing information to Teespring, which then Teespring is capturing and displaying in an analytics package for you. Okay. So here's an example, teespring.com, campaign name, question mark kicks it off. This is a big giant divider here, and it's telling the web browser anything after this is going to be a variable, and you have variable equals something. And what this is the key is the first portion of this, and the variable, if you get technical, is the second portion of this. You could have teespring.com, another one, question mark, whatever equals 1, 2, 3, 4. You can put anything into either of these buckets. Doesn't matter, it'll display in the back end, and we'll see some of that coming up pretty quick. Here's what it looks like with multiple variables. Question mark kicks it off. Then if you add more than one, you put an and sign there, and then that tells the web browser, oh, this is another variable that we're passing, another key and a variable that we're passing. And you could keep adding these. You could put and just keep going. Another example, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, garment equals hoodie. There's all sorts of information that's passed back and forth through variables in the URL string. So here's some maybe more real life examples, and this would be dark post, clicks to website, desktop only, and general targeting. So this is a type of a string that you could pass, and it tells you in the back end of Teespring Analytics if this campaign, this, for example, Facebook campaign, is working or not, if it's generating sales. And again, that's upcoming. We'll take a look at it. Now, for every single campaign that I do, I have a file. And in fact, I keep a folder for every single campaign. And inside that folder, I have any graphic information like the design, reference material, or where I got the idea or how it was generated, but I always have this text file as well. So I keep everything in a nice little package. And this text file, I add to it as I add different campaign styles or try different things. And what I found is this is very valuable over time. A lot of times I'll put my targeting in here, all sorts of different things, but it tells me the styles that I have going. It's a reference document for me. So here you see this is a dark post, clicks to website, desktop, general. You know, you can name it whatever you want. If you wanted to, say it's a PPE, and I'll show you I shorten these a lot. Usually I don't, use this longer hand, but if it's PPE, you could do this. P equals P for PPE, or PPE, there we go, or PPE. Pretty simple, right? Something, and this could be anything, but just tells you, where this ad spend is coming from. I also in here keep all sorts of ad text, little snippets. This may be for a dark post. This would be something for a PPE post. I have a URL here. If I wanted to add a variable, I could put CTW for clicks to website, CTW. So then I know when I run this on Facebook, this variable will be passed through, and when it is, it'll be coded clicks to website. So I can tie back my ad spend exactly to my sales. I also, just for reference, I always put the Facebook tracking pixel inside of this document so I have it quick and easy. All right, now let's go take a look at the back end of Teespring Analytics and see where these variables are landing, kind of catching them on the other end. All right, here's the back end of a campaign, and this is Teespring Analytics. If you scroll down, there's all sorts of charts and graphs and interesting things, and when do the orders come in, times of day and day of week and all that sort of stuff. But where I head to first are these two areas, and they're pretty much down at the bottom. Views and order data by referrer, and what a referrer is the last known address in the browser before the person hits the Teespring landing page. So you'll see here's a lot of Facebook URLs. Well, it's because I'm using Facebook ads to drive this traffic. They also, you can sort any of these columns. You can sort them, see conversion rate over time or by that day. You kind of get an idea of your stats. But this to me is the most important area right here, this get variable data. And you'll see here's the key and the value. So this is our variable, key and value. Let me sort this quick, and you'll see I've coded these. This is actually the second PPE campaign that I've started up on here, so I just put 2P. Pretty simple. This one was the first PPE campaign. This one is a lookalike audience that I'm running. This was a clicks to website that I tried. It actually didn't work out very well, and so I paused it. So what's happening is, as I'm passing these variables, I can look at which ad campaigns are driving these numbers. And I can ramp up the winners. Obviously, this one's winning big time, right? 14% conversion rate over, that's unbelievable. So what am I doing? Ramping up my ad spend, and I know the exact campaign that's driving the bus here. Okay, here's the loser. I tried a clicks to website, thought it would work. It's only 2% conversion rate. If I did the dollars in, dollars out, 10 shirts sold, I think I spent like $140 for $100. That's a bad decision. So this one's been paused, right? This gives you the ability to really affect your profitability. You can tie it back exactly. Maybe one other quick note, whatever it's worth. Here's retargeting that's happening. This is not me. This is Teespring. They do a heck of a lot of retargeting themselves. And so here's 25 sales that, I essentially got for free because they do a lot of retargeting on their platform. It's good for them. They make more money. It's good for me. I make more money. I'm happy. I'm pleased when they do it. So this section here to me is gold. If you start passing variables, you'll see them show up here. And in short order, you can figure out if your money is well spent or if you're wasting money. So that's it for this one. Variable tracking, it's very effective, and I'm saying it's probably in the neighborhood of like 95% accurate. It really works out for me well. I use Teespring Analytics all the time. If you have any questions on this video at all, feel free, hit Teespring up. They'll be happy to help you out. Thanks.